So the second question after the first question, which is about, do you agree with these two agencies? The second question is, are you concerned that the integrity of elections might also be attacked before long?
Look, I mean, these institutions, of course, have their view. They are foreign institutions. And frankly, we don't need a stamp from them. But directionally, what they're saying is correct. I would add one thing. I would say they're much behind the curve. I think the situation is actually much worse than they imagine, first. Uh, Second, again, you cannot separate electoral democracy from institutional frameworks, right? Uh, an election is not simply people going and pressing a button on a voting machine. An election is about narrative. An election is about institutions that make sure that the framework in the country is operating properly. Election is about a judiciary that is being fair. Election is about a debate that is taking place in parliament, right? So you need those things for the vote to count. Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi used to have elections. They used to win them. They were actually voting. It wasn't that they weren't voting, but there was no institutional framework to protect that vote. So to me, India is going to find out that it's actually much further down the curve than it thinks and that outsiders think. You can destroy an electoral democracy in the 21st century if you've got Facebook, if you've got WhatsApp, if you've got financial dominance, and if you control the institutions. Why wouldn't you let people just go and vote? Why wouldn't you just keep that pretense? No problem. Why does it harm you? It legitimizes you.
Okay, so the elections can become simply a legitimating device rather than a method of selecting governments. That we can.
Which is what I mean. We've seen it in the 20th century, right? We've seen these guys coming to power just with this legitimization of the vote. I mean, there's no reason Saddam Hussein needed the vote, but it was like, okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Why not?
Yeah. My third question is,
sorry, it's by the way, if you look at the strategy employed by the Muslim Brotherhood, right, and the strategy employed by the RSS, it's implicit in what they're doing. It's in there, right? They're basically saying capture power through the electoral process, capture the institutions, and then the electoral process is irrelevant.